in human language. I believe it from front to back. That is my starting point. If the Bible tells me to do something, guess what? I want to be obedient and I want to do it. And according to 1 Peter 3:15, Jude chapter 1 verse 3 and on, we are called to defend our faith. We do it to share the message of Jesus Christ to the world, and we do it to defend against internal false doctrine within the walls of our own church. Now I want to talk a little bit about atheism and arguments for the existence of God, but don't get it twisted. The greater threat is from contrary religious perspectives. If you think of the statistics of atheism here in the United States, the statistic is rather low. Most people in the United States believes in some form of a God or some variation of a religion. That's most of the United States. The reason why I like to focus on atheism is because they're the loudest. They're the ones that get the television programs, and they're on the news, and they're being interviewed for science and things like that. You have the whole creation-evolution debate. And so we need to be able to respond to that as well. Okay? But let's not get it twisted. There is a wider battle out there. The beautiful thing about Christian apologetics is that it can cater to the specific focus of your context. I don't know who you deal with when you're speaking to unbelievers. I don't know. Maybe you have family members who are a particular religious perspective. Maybe that's a place of study that God is calling you to look into. If you know Muslims, maybe God is calling you to learn a little bit more about Islam and how to respond to it with the biblical Christian perspective. Maybe your calling is to respond to atheism. My specific call, I think I interact more online with atheists than most other people. And so for me, this is a central focus of my study. And of course, I'd like to expand my study. And so I've recently been looking into the topic of the New Age and the occult, Satanism, Wicca, all these things we see outside in the world. Are you equipped? What happens if you're sitting in a I don't know, you're sitting somewhere and you're talking to a Satanist? What do you do? Now, people who don't know that, it's like, he's evil, let me get out of here. It's like, Satanists are human beings who need to hear the gospel. They're not hooky-pooky and scary. Guess what? Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Sometimes Christians can create this fairy tale mentality that we get so superstitious. Well, he's a Satanist, so that's spiritual activity. No, there is a greater spirit inside of you, and we should be able to speak with a Satanist, with an atheist, with a Mormon, with a Muslim, with the same amount of courage and confidence. Amen? Good. All right, so let's take a look. Now, how many people believe or understand that atheists don't take the Bible to be true? This is very obviously, right? If they believe the Bible, they'd be Christians, right? They wouldn't be any atheists, right? And so I want to focus on something here. I want to frame this discussion when we're talking about the existence of God. I want to frame the discussion in the context of two important questions, okay? Now, this is going to be an apologetic, a defense against people who do not believe in the existence of God. But I do think that these specific questions we can ask ourselves. How many people struggle sometimes, with doubt? Everyone here, don't be lying to me right now. Some people can doubt sometimes. You ever go through something crazy and you wonder if God is there? Right? Where is God? When my family member dies of cancer? Where's God when a baby dies at birth? Where's God when seemingly innocent people, good people, undergo horrible things? Where's God when the earthquake strikes? Where's God when the hurricane destroys the home? These things oftentimes can produce doubt within believers. And so apologetics kind of has this interesting twofold effect. Not only does it equip us to defend the faith against other people, it helps us to defend the faith against ourselves. We need to be able to stand firm on the truth. You need to know why your faith is true. That question is answerable. Is Christianity true? You are wrong if you just say, well, I guess. Right? I guess we can't really know, so I guess it's true. That's a lot of the mentality today. Some people even go as far as to say all religious perspectives are true. All of them. We're just good people reaching out for the same thing. You know, we're all just searching for the truth, and your religion over there has a little bit of truth, this religion over there has a little bit of truth, and we're all just, we're all just trying the same thing. This is a real mindset, especially in this area, by the way. There's a strong Wiccan presence and New Age philosophy presence in Nyack. It's true. And that specific perspective, they teach that there is validity in all religious perspectives because they are pantheists. They deny absolute truth and they try to see, quote, truth in all religious perspectives. All these paths lead to the same place. I told you about the parable of the elephant. Did I say that last time? Did you ever hear about the parable? He wants to hear it. He's like, he didn't say it. Did he say it? He didn't say the elephant. It's a parable of the elephant. Right? There were these blind dudes. They were blind. They can't see. Just in case. Yeah. Blind people can't see. All right? There were these blind guys. And they were all touching different parts of an elephant. Okay? I didn't get to the go, laughing. There's nothing there yet. Okay? And they were all trying to figure out what this elephant was like. And the one blind man, he felt the trunk of the elephant. He's like, ah! An elephant is like a rope. Look, it's so long and squiggly, just like a rope. And the other blind man, he's touching the ear of the elephant. He says, oh, no, you're incorrect. An elephant is like a giant leaf. Look, it's flat and flappy, and it's like a leaf. And the other guy hugs the leg of the elephant. You are both incorrect.
An elephant is like a tree.
Look how firm it is. It's immovable. You cannot move. You can't pull a tree out of the ground. This is like a tree. So you have the blind man on one hand saying an elephant is like a rope. Another blind man saying the elephant is like a leaf. The other blind man saying the elephant is like a trunk. What's the purpose of the story? They are all feeling the same thing. And the parable teaches that religions of the world is like that. We all are claiming truth is one way, when in essence, we are all reaching out for the same thing. And so all religious perspectives are true. They are just describing the same thing differently. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to say this with me. Ready? Nice and loud. Baloney! Good. Good, you don't do it. Baloney!
Baloney.
Louder, come on. Baloney! Baloney! Baloney, that's right. It's baloney. I'm sorry. It might sound arrogant that I believe Christianity is true and Islam is false. It might sound arrogant that I believe Christianity is true and Jehovah's Witness is false. It might sound arrogant that I believe Christianity is true and Hinduism is false. But it's not. If we were to think logically, then it would be very illogical to say that all religious perspectives are true. Why? Because if you just take a look at the many religious perspectives out there, they all are saying contradictory things. If all religions are true, tell me, how can it be the case that there is only one God, and at the same time, there are many gods? Is it possible for those two statements to be true? No, that's right. Jesus is the only way. No man comes to the Father except through Jesus. That's true, but it is also true that there are many ways to the Father. They both cannot be true. As a matter of fact, in logic, that is a violation of the second law of logic, which is called the law of non-contradiction. Something cannot be both true and not true at the same time and in the same way. If you want to say that contradictions can be true, by definition, you're being illogical. And by definition, when someone is illogical and they make illogical statements, their statement by definition is false. Contradictory claims cannot be true. Logically, it's not my opinion, that's just the rules of logic. Okay? I'll give you an example. If someone says contradictions can be true, well, let's test this out. Ready? I only know 2 words in English. If that statement is true, it is false, because I used more than 2 English words to tell you. Ready? Here's another one. I don't exist. If it's true that I don't exist, how was I able to tell you that I don't exist? You see, contradictions cannot be true. Either God exists or he doesn't. Either God created the universe or he didn't. There is either a personal cause of the cosmos or an impersonal cause. It can't be both. You understand? It's the importance of thinking logically. And from cradle to the grave, we need to be teaching our people how to think logically. Because thinking logically is not just to focus on the thinking of man. No, the Bible commands us to think logically. John chapter 1, verse 1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Everyone say Word.
Word.
What language was the New Testament written in?
Greek.
Greek. The Greek word for word is logos. It's where we get the word logic from. We are called to think after God. God thinks logically. I'm created in his image. I am called to think logically as well.